guys, it's Thursday. John and I are heading up to Flagstaff, and I decided to film real quick because it's supposed to be kind of a rainy day. So I brought a jacket, I put a hat on just to keep my hair from getting soaked, and wore heels. And one of John's coworkers just texted and said that there's a foot of snow. She might have overestimated, I think, yeah. Anyway, there's snow, and so they're all worried that John's not going to make it up there because he's the guy who opens and gets the office set up and everything. And so I think we'll make it on time, but it really depends on how much snow we encounter. There's a not very high mountain right over here that has snow on it, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not bad. Okay, you guys, the weather got even worse, and we wrecked the car, like rolled it. Let me show you. Okay, there's my car. We are both okay. I opened the doors. We opened ourselves to get stuff out. This happened about 20 minutes ago. We were driving under the speed limit, probably 10 miles or so under the speed limit, and there was a car in the lane next to us, and we're driving along, and all of a sudden there was a bunch of slush in the road. Both of us saw it coming up on us. We couldn't move into the next lane because there was a car. And so we both saw the slush and went, oh crap. And as soon as we were heading into it, John said, hang on. We hung on and slid off the road and rolled it, and John was like, relax, 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 just hold on, hold on. And so we ended up hanging upside down by our seatbelts. We needed a new car anyway, though. So neither one of us were very scared. We're not hurt. There's an officer here who's taking care of things. They have a tow truck coming. We're almost to Flagstaff, so we're almost to Flagstaff, so we'll probably get towed and get a ride up there. Then we'll call the insurance company, and I'm sure they'll give us a rental car. It's certainly not a good day for this. I was going to take my car in to have the oil leak checked on it, but I guess I don't need to do that tomorrow. Anyway, so I don't know how long this is going to take us today, but we're clearly not going to work. We're just going to go home. You know, it's funny, neither one of us are very flustered, are you?
No, I've had worse.
So, yeah, he actually was in a motorcycle accident in 2009 and flipped his motorcycle into a canyon. He tumbled 40 feet down into a canyon, so he has had worse. Right now, while we're waiting for the tow truck to come, we're just kind of digging through. When we're hanging upside down, we're thinking, okay, we have to call 911, but our phones were gone. Mine had been hooked up to the charger, and John had his. Was yours under your leg? Anyway, the both phones went flying, and everything went flying. And so finally we're digging around as we're hanging upside down from our seatbelts, and found John's phone, but there was no service. So it wasn't until some people stopped and helped us get out of the car that we found my phone, and then by that time a cop came up. So an eventful vlog for you, isn't it? Okay, you guys. You know what? In the grand scheme of things, with everything else that's going on when I think about my mother-in-law and everything she's going through, this is really not a big deal. And it's a 17-year-old car, so we needed a new one anyway. So we are at the hospital right now. It's been 3 hours since we wrecked, and I got the car taken over to the towing company, and took care of stuff with insurance and got a rental car, and then we thought we'd come over here to the emergency room, just because in the last 3 hours we've started to get just kind of pain in our head. Now, I banged my head on something in the car, my laptop, water bottle. Something hit me in the head. So here I am in my hospital. In the hospital. I hope this doesn't last a long time, but it's probably going to take all day. Okay, we're out of the ER. We're headed to get lunch. We're hungry. And then we're going to go home. They tell us that tomorrow we're already sore. We both got bonked on the head and then just kind of jarred around. I mean, we were hanging upside down by our seatbelts, so we flipped in the car. We started out not really feeling anything except where we'd bonked our heads, and then the pain started going down our necks and shoulders and stuff, and they said, yep, you're gonna feel that way they said tomorrow will be worse, but every day after that will be better. So there you go. Hi you guys, it's Friday morning, super foggy out. Can you see that? With all the weather, there's a lot of rain down here yesterday. John and I feel amazingly well. We were told that we would feel so much worse today, and I would say I probably feel more tight but not as sore as yesterday. We started, as soon as we left the hospital, we took a leave, and even though the package instructions on a leave say you're only supposed to take one a day, I've been to a doctor before who said, if you really need to, you can take up to 4 in a day. Of course, it's always better, not to take a ton of medication if you can. But so we took one as we were leaving the hospital, and then we took another one. It was in the afternoon, and then I took one in the evening, and that really helped. I just took one this morning. It really, really helped, because we would notice like 30 minutes after taking one that we would just be like, wow, I feel really good. And then we just were doing neck and shoulder stretches all evening. We were just doing all of these stretches where we turn and hold, and then this way and this way and then this way. That's a little stiff. So there are a bunch of different ones. We were watching these YouTube yoga channels that had neck and shoulder routines, and so I think just because we were doing a lot of that, a lot of movement of the area, that helped. I would say that things still feel stiff, and the only thing that I would say feels different is that probably a little bit more in the middle of my back, and even my thighs just feel tight, and I think it's probably just because when it was happening, we just clenched up everything, as tight as we could, just bracing ourselves for the impact, and it could have been so much worse. We have been flooded with phone calls from friends and family, and I talked to one of our neighbors and co-workers who just were so wonderful, wanting to find out how we were doing, and it just could have been so much worse. My friend Roxy called, and she just was saying, oh, I just feel my heart goes out to you. You've had so much stuff going on in your life for the last couple of years, and stuff with your dad, and now your mother-in-law, and then this. And I said to her, well, yeah, it does kind of stink that this happened. And I said, but first of all, we were already talking about getting rid of the car and getting a more economical car, since we're driving up to Flagstaff so much. And the other thing is that in the grand scheme of things, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, neither one of us got injured. It's pushing us to go ahead and get a more economical car, and it's not anything like anything else that's going on, and so it really wasn't that bad. So it could have been bad. In fact, when we left the hospital, the doctor said several times to us, thank you for wearing your seatbelt. Thank you for wearing your seatbelt. If you had not been wearing your seatbelt today, this would have been a very different day for you. And so
just over and over, thank you for wearing your seatbelt. Because she knows that she would have been one of the doctors who would have been working on us if we hadn't been wearing our seatbelts, but we were. So wear your seatbelts. Now, look at this pretty nail polish I put on. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got little, I mean, it's kind of a purpley color, but then it's got this bluish purple sparkles in it. I can really see them out here outside. I'm just going to get my trash can to bring it in, but just noticed how pretty this looks. This is by Julep. I'm not exactly sure of the name of the specific polish, but I'll check when I go inside. Look at our pretty little Vanessa and Chloe tree. You remember that this tree is actually two trees that are kind of wound together. One's a Braeburn apple and the other is a Honeycrisp apple. And I can tell the difference because the trunk on, if you can call this little tiny thing a trunk, on the Honeycrisp is actually a lighter color and the Braeburn is this darker color one. So I'm remembering it this way because honey is, is kind of a golden color. And so I've actually decided that this is the Chloe tree and this is the Vanessa tree because Chloe was, well, they were both Boston Terriers, so they were primarily black and white. But Chloe had a lot of brindle on her, so when she was in the sun, she looked kind of golden. And Vanessa had a tiny bit of brindle, but for the most part, her black was just black. And Chloe's had a lot of gold in it. So anyway, just they've looked so pretty. The Braeburn is blooming right now. The Honeycrisp bloomed already. And so, is that right? What do we have bloom? Yeah, it's the Braeburn. The Honeycrisp bloomed first. So it'll be really fun when it starts to produce apples, which probably will be a little while. So this is the polish from Julep, and it is called Flora, Flora. So really, really pretty. I'm not currently a member of the Julep Maven subscription service because I'm trying to just use up all the nail polish I have, or use up some of it, and then but it's super good service and I love their polish. It doesn't make your nails dry out or anything. Beautiful colors, and it dries relatively quickly, so I like it, and this particular one is very pretty. Okay, dinner tonight is a twice baked broccoli potato. So of course this was cooked for about an hour, and then I scooped out the guts, mixed it with some soy milk, and then you could use any kind of non-dairy milk for, if you want this to be plant-based. I mixed it with garlic, some cooked broccoli. What else is in here? Salt and pepper, and I can't remember. This comes from the Plant Pure Nation cookbook, and I will definitely link it in my next plant-based video if it's available online. So after I mix this stuff all up, oh, there's onions in here as well. So then I scooped it back into the shells of the baked potato, and then put on top of it this is vegan cheese, which really tastes pretty good. So just put that back on, and then put that back in the oven, and then it cooked for another 20 minutes. Just in case it's dry, I mixed up this is the Tofutti sour cream, and I added a little bit of lime juice and dry mustard powder, which makes it taste more like sour cream. When you just have it straight from the container, it just doesn't have this tang that sour cream has. So anyway, so that's dinner tonight. It's Saturday, close to noon. Look what I just harvested from my garden. This asparagus piece is probably a little bit longer than I should have harvested. It just grew on me really fast. And this one's probably a little shorter, but in order to have something that we can actually eat, I harvested both of these. This is from the already established
asparagus plant that was here when we moved in, and then I have since planted 5 more, 4 of which are sprouting. And so I think that it'll be good to have more than 1 asparagus plant so that we can have more than 2 for a meal. Anyway, I'm just gonna put these in a baggie and put them in the refrigerator, and then maybe in a couple of days we'll have, you know, maybe we'll have some more that are edible. Otherwise, we'll just eat these and wait. Hi, you guys. Yeah, I found out from my neighbor that Louise she did not have twins. She had her baby, she had a little girl, and she had it this morning. They didn't, by the time they woke up and came out, Louise had already had the baby. So let me go ahead, and it's kind of hard to see. She's kind of hiding behind another one of the cows, but Louise is licking it. So let me go ahead and show you. All right, so over there, that's the little boy who was born a few days ago. So Louise is the cow on the far right, and she's licking the baby, and the cow on the left is the boy, the younger boy who's always out here. But I haven't gotten a close-up look of this little girl. Can't wait till she comes closer. Hi guys, it's Sunday. I have been outside spraying weeds all day. We have this property that's just under 2 acres. And, you know, I was kind of managing the weeds, and then all of a sudden everything just blew up. So I've been outside for the past several hours spraying a killer that's not supposed to kill the grass. Anyway, you know, I was thinking about something. I feel like I have to talk about this before I end this vlog this week, and that is the fact that we got in an accident this week reminded me of when John was in a motorcycle accident in 2009. He was in a canyon and kind of came around a corner, and there was some gravel, and his speed was too high to be able to handle it, and he ran into or crashed into a concrete embankment, flipped over, and tumbled 40 feet down into a canyon. He ended up with a scrape on his leg, a blood blister under one finger nail, and an ankle that was turned backwards. And he now has, you know, a fake ankle joint and all that. It's given him a lot of problems. But he also had a big gash in his helmet. If he hadn't been wearing a helmet, I wouldn't have a husband. So anyway, but after that happened, after his accident happened, people kept saying, wow, John, God really had his hand on you. And it didn't sit well with me. I know they were well-intentioned, but I thought there are people out there whose husbands get in motorcycle wrecks and they don't live. And you know what? What I started to say to people is that God's hand would have been on John even if he had died. And his hand would have been on him as he ushered him into the kingdom of heaven. And so I don't want to say that, you know, like what I keep thinking about with our accident, because if we hadn't been wearing seatbelts, it could have been really bad. But it just wasn't our day to die, you know. That was not what God had planned for us. And it wasn't that God had his hand on us, unlike somebody else who gets in a wreck and doesn't live. Either way, whatever would have happened to us, God would not have left us, you know. And so I just felt like I needed to say that it really just was that it wasn't God's plan for us to leave. I think if anything, what we found out that day when we went to the hospital to get checked out is that we realized that John's blood pressure is high. I mean, it's normal that it would be elevated after an accident, but I looked at his blood pressure and I said, John, is that always like that? So he's been checking his blood pressure every day since then, and it's elevated. So he made an appointment the next day to see a doctor. He's going to see a doctor in a few weeks to deal with high blood pressure. His family has hypertension runs in his family. So if anything, you know, would God have us wreck our car so my husband could find out that he has high blood pressure?
yeah, why not? So if anything, I am grateful for that because there was something going on with my husband's health, and we might not have known it had we not wrecked. So anyway, I just felt like I needed to end the vlog by saying that God is good all the time, no matter what the circumstance, and even when bad things happen. So anyway, there you go. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sitting out here looking at the pasture back here with, you know, 2 little babies. But I'll try to get a closer look at the little girl for you next week, the little baby girl. She hasn't come over to the fence, so I haven't been able to film her. She just looks like a little blob laying in the grass most of the time. So anyway, you guys, I will shut up, and we'll see you in the next vlog. Take care. Bye-bye.